Okay, hey, hi, hello, how's it going? So I thought I would give I'm a no one, practically, but I thought I would give my advice and tips, if you can call it that, on stage fright, on nerves. I know how it feels, okay, trust me. I do stand-up comedy. I'm going to Los Angeles in May, in 2019. And I'm going to be performing at the Comedy Store. I'm going to be performing at the Laugh Factory. Just open mic nights, by the way. And I've got one where I'm going to be doing like a 15-minute set, just me. So I can count that as kind of like an actual performance. But you know, I hate the word gig. By the way, you'll never fucking see me use the word gig. I cringe when people use certain words. I can't help it. I just crumble. Inside, I actually die a bit. It's sort of like if I was Lord Voldemort, a piece of me would die. Every time somebody uses the word, "Oh, hey man, I've got a gig tonight." For a start, don't say the word "man." Unless you're American, you can't start going, "Hey man." No, it doesn't work. You're not American. Don't use it. It's weird. Anyway, stage fright. It's fucking awful, okay? So you go on stage for the first time, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever, and you know everyone's looking at you. The eyes are looking at you. They're waiting for you to impress them, to do something, to wow them, okay? I'm talking from a comedy point of view. That can be nerve-wracking. So here's a few tips for you. And then they're going to sound so simple. But this is coming from a guy that still suffers with, I hate mental health sort of stuff because I feel like it's knocking yourself down. But I do have social anxiety, which it's awful because it's not being nervous. Social anxiety, the way I see it, is debilitating. It makes you think that people are laughing at you, always looking at you, always talking about you, and you are, even when you're not, you are the centre of attention. And that's bad. But anyway, I thought when I was 18, I'd get over it by doing stand-up comedy because I liked comedy. Little did I know, I actually did it. And the first time I did it, I did not do well. Okay, so it wasn't a success. But since then, I've done so many performances where it was like it was so good. But even when I get good performances, I still struggle with the anxiety side of it. But anyway, I'm going to America next May to do stand-up comedy, and I thought I'd try and do a video to help you do something to try and get over it. Okay, so tip number one, they're just people. Sounds simple, doesn't it? They're just people. Trust me, okay? The people in the audience, no matter what you're doing, they're nervous. They're there watching you, but they are nervous, okay? It's one of those things where they're scared of being picked out of the crowd. So trust me, number one, they are just people. They're just eyes looking at you. That's all it is. You have to get over that part of it. It's like when you're young, if you're a young guy and you fancy a girl and you don't know how to talk to that girl and you go all red, embarrassed, how do you deal with it? Trust me, as I've gotten older, I've got a partner now, but as I got older, I realised girls are just boys with no cock. I look at things in a simple term, and it's not so, in your face. It's not like that. It's just, they're people, so you don't have to go every time you see a girl and just crumble, you know. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, rehearse a lot. Don't think, okay, I think I've done enough. Don't think you've done enough. Do enough. Do it again. Film yourself doing it, and try and sort of imagine how people are going to see you. So the way you use your hands, don't be all stiff and look nervous, because that makes them nervous, and also if there's certain people in the crowd, that's going to make them trigger in a certain way. So you don't want that. Tip number three, I'd say, is Now, this isn't advised in a professional sense. So if you're doing a speech about God knows what, anything sensitive, okay, don't do this. But if you're doing what I do, have a shot of whiskey. Even if the whiskey doesn't kick in, you'll think it's kicked in. You'll be like, well, hey, I've had a shot of whiskey. Plus, if you fuck up, you can go, hey, I'm drunk. You know, so you can't, there's no excuse in terms of, it was me, I should have had a drink. No, you've had a drink. And maybe that drink made you shit. It won't. But what I'm saying is it'll give you the confidence to do it. And I've done that once or twice. I don't like doing it, really. The whole drinking whiskey thing, I like a drink of whiskey and a few things after, but, you know, it's not advice I'd offer unless it was stand-up comedy or certain types of performers. If you're a dancer, I wouldn't advise it, you know? So, yeah. Was that tip number 3, was it? Okay, so tip number 4. This is one I can't stress about enough. And it's basically, you see yourself in a certain way, like I do. People do not see you the way that you see yourself. That's not what they see. You could say now, you could be having such a bad day, the way you look, and it brings your confidence down. When it brings your confidence down, you're not going to perform well. You're not going to be you. You have to not give a shit, okay? I give a shit, unfortunately, because I have what I have, and I've had it since I was a kid. I've learned how to deal with it, switch it off for that moment. But social anxiety is not something you can switch off for a long time. It kicks back in. But think of yourself as an actor. You know, an actor. Still be yourself, but pretend you're trying to be somebody else, even when you're trying to be yourself. It's going to work. That's what I do. I am myself, but I have to convince myself, okay, I'm going to be the funniest version of myself that I can be, but it's okay. It's only for a certain amount of time, and it's going to get me through it. When I go on stage, trust me, my comedy is not knock knock, who's there? My comedy is quite provocative, political sort of shit, and I have to not give a shit when somebody says something. So, you know, it'll really test me when I go to America, but I can't wait. And I will film that for you, by the way. Okay, so the next tip I would give would be, do not, unless it's supportive advice, do not listen to your friends, your family, because trust me, even the people that you love and that love you, sometimes they genuinely just don't have any belief in you. They don't want you to do well because they haven't got anything. I have people in my family who genuinely couldn't give a shit if I failed. They couldn't give a shit. I don't even speak to them. You know, that's how bad it is. And they, at the time when I was a kid, I told them, I want to do comedy, what do you think? And all I wanted was for someone to say, try it, do it. Nobody said that. Everyone told me, you're not going to do it, you're not funny. Then I had friends who, some were supportive and some were a bit like, no, I don't think you're going to be... Anyway, since then I've done so well doing it and I can't wait to do it again. And it's something I want to do as a career, so I'm gonna be not giving up a lot. I'm going to be risking a lot to do this. Not my home. I'm not that thick. But, you know, I think comedy's the best version of free speech at the minute. So, yeah, my advice is don't always listen to people that love you, because they're not always the best people to ask advice for. Make sure that you've got one supportive person, okay? Find out who that person is and hold on to them, because you're going to need them, because you are going to fail. And you know, you might not fail. You might be that person that just storms through it. I failed more than once, more than twice. But I've done it, and now I'm not a professional at all. I mean, I've done, all in all, I'd say over about 30 performances, which isn't a lot, but it's enough for me to be able to know that it takes a bit for you to grow, okay? It's going to happen. You're going to think I'm this type of, talking from a comedian's point. You're going to think this is my style of comedy. You get up on that stage, you realise, ah shit, that's not my style of comedy. Maybe I should go down this route, okay? Which is what happened to me. I thought I was more of a funny, like, easygoing guy. Like, hey, oh my god, I've got this story about one time where I fell over. You know, that's the sort of thing I thought I was going to be going down. It turns out I'm not. Because of my personality, I'm outspoken. So I went down the other route of basically, I don't give a shit, this is what I think. More of a dry sense of humour comedy, people love it. And it was just routines about fucking, you know, like, I'd be doing something about Amy Schumer. Like, why the fuck do people even like Amy Schumer? You know, what she got that other women don't have? For a start, there's loads of women that should be doing comedy. That's not one of them. She did a special, right? On Netflix, something, the leather special. Didn't need it. Nobody needs to see that. It's awful looking. You know, I've seen, like, fucking... certain women, put it like this, should not be wearing leather. She's one of them. Her face doesn't even make sense. Imagine a pig. Do you know when a kid draws a pig? Right? A pig face, with a pig chin, a pig nose, and pig eyes, with a little smiley face on it. That's Amy Schumer. Stick a microphone on it. She can oink away, right? I did a routine about that, a whole thing about that, and it was about 15-20 minutes, okay? People loved it. But my sense of humour is more like, you can laugh at me, I'm not going to laugh with you. You need to know, if you're a performer doing stand-up comedy on stage, and you laugh, you can't laugh and smile with yourself or at yourself. You've got to be the guy that's like a bit blasé, you know, doing the style of comedy I do. But if I was to give one more useful tip, people say start off doing pubs. What the fuck sort of advice is that? Do not start off doing your local pub. Do not start off locally. That's the best advice. Unless you live in Manchester, Liverpool, London, blah blah blah. I live in Wales, in North Wales. I did not start off doing a local pub. I knew everyone. They would not have laughed. And if they would have laughed, it would have been for the wrong reason about like, oh fucking hell, Martin's shit. Okay? Martin can't do comedy. Fucking ha. Let's all film him and ridicule him. That's how it would have gone at my first time if I would have done it locally, in a local pub, which isn't even a comedy club. So, yeah, you're not singing. It's a bit different, okay? My advice, get down to an open mic night at a comedy club. Doesn't matter how far you have to travel. Make sure you don't know anybody there. They can't judge the you that you know. They can meet the you that you want to be as a performer. Okay, that's my best advice, and you will meet other people that you didn't know you'd meet. So, yeah, I hope this advice has helped. I mean, nobody really told me this. I had to do it myself, but I hate seeing people struggle. So yeah, get yourself down to an open mic night that isn't your local pub. That would be a nightmare. Trust me, I can't even. When one of my mates told me you could do it like in the pub, I was like, nah, no fucking chance. But if you fail once or twice, don't worry about it. It's not gonna ruin you. You're learning. But like I say, you might be that person that can just storm through it and you're amazing from start to finish. But anyway, thanks for watching. Share it if you know anybody that performs and needs advice. Thanks for watching. See ya.